Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of our Reichert Planetarium virtual outreach. Today we have our astronomy educator and console operator, Charlie Eder, who is going to talk to us a little bit about how we can be more sustainable and environmentally conscious.
Hi, in honor of Earth Day this month, I'm going to be discussing the climate, including the relationship between the Earth and the Sun, and especially how humans can affect the environment. So, first, let's talk a little bit about our Sun. Just about all sources of energy on the Earth, in one way or another, originally come from the Sun. And we receive a lot of energy from the Sun every single day. And that energy comes to us in the form of light, which travels through space as a wave. And light from the sun is made up of all different colors, including colors that we can't see with our own eyes. And all those different colors make up something that we call the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, the colors that we can see are what we call visible light, which includes the colors of the rainbow from red through violet. But there are plenty of colors that we can't see. So, for example, there's light with longer wavelengths and lower energies, including radio waves and infrared light. And there's light with shorter wavelengths and higher energies like ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma rays. Now, these kinds of light with higher energy and shorter wavelengths, they can be harmful to life on Earth. But luckily, the Earth has a protective atmosphere, which absorbs a lot of this light before it can reach us here on the surface. But other kinds of light, like visible, infrared, and radio, they can pass right through the Earth's atmosphere and reach us here on the surface. And some of that light will get reflected back out into space at the polar ice caps and by clouds. But some of that light gets absorbed by the Earth and is later re-emitted as infrared light, which we can feel as heat. And that heat spreads all throughout the entire atmosphere, keeping the Earth warm. And that's called the greenhouse effect. And usually that's a good thing. It keeps the Earth at a comfortable temperature. But some human activities, including deforestation and the burning of fossil fuels, have added a lot of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, including carbon dioxide and methane, which trap a lot more of the sun's heat. So, on average, the Earth has been getting hotter and hotter, causing the ice caps to melt, which is leading to rising sea levels. This also causes stronger and more frequent storms like hurricanes, as well as droughts and wildfires. So, what are some ways that we can fight these dangerous effects of greenhouse gas emissions? Well, one of the most significant things we can do is switch over to renewable energy. For example, solar power. So using solar panels like these here, we can capture light from the sun and convert it into electricity. And there are plenty of other kinds of renewable energy which don't emit greenhouse gases like the burning of fossil fuels does. Now, switching over to renewable energy will take time. So, what are some simple things that we can all do at home to help be a little bit more environmentally friendly? Well, first, don't litter. Litter can pollute our sources of groundwater as well as the oceans, and it can make it hard for wildlife to find safe and healthy places to live. And it's easy enough to hold on to your garbage until you find your next closest garbage can. The next step is to be a little bit more careful about what we're throwing away and more aware of how much we're throwing away. So what we want to do is reduce waste as much as possible. So reducing waste can save space in landfills and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And some quick, easy ways to do that would be to use reusable dishes and utensils rather than single-use items. Or we could buy reusable water bottles and drink tap water rather than buying bottled water. And we can bring reusable cups to our favorite coffee shops as well as reusable bags to grocery stores. And next, we want to recycle as much as possible as well. And that includes paper, cardboard, plastic, glass, and tin. If you live in an area that doesn't have a regularly scheduled recyclable pickup through your town, there are plenty of grocery stores that have recycling programs as well. So check your town's website and look into those grocery stores and see which items they accept in their recycling programs. We also want to make sure that we sort all of our recyclables. Do not mix garbage and recycling. And we also want to make sure that all of our recyclables are clean. So for glass, plastic, and tin containers, make sure you quickly rinse them out with water before recycling them. And make sure that you're not recycling wet or stained cardboard or paper, because those can introduce contamination into our recyclable materials. And what are some other tips that we can do to be a little bit more environmentally friendly? Well, we can also sort out our food waste to make compost, and we can use that compost to grow healthier gardens without the use of fertilizers. We can plant flowers to support bee populations. Bees are essential to our agriculture. They pollinate crops such as fruits and vegetables and cotton. So without bees, we wouldn't have those products. We can also walk or ride our bikes to locations rather than driving everywhere. We can cut back on meat consumption, and we can support environmentally friendly companies. But most importantly, we should be talking to our family, our friends, our coworkers about our habits and how we can live a little bit more sustainably. Remember, everyone can make a difference. So thank you for listening and have a happy Earth Day.
And that wraps up another episode of our Reichert Planetarium virtual outreach. If you like this program, please subscribe and like us on Facebook and Instagram. If you have any suggestions on how to be more environmentally friendly, please go ahead and leave it in our comment section below. We'll see you again next time and have a happy Earth Day.